Hi, welcome to My Story, My Voice. Today I'm not going to make any video where you can see my face because today I'm going to talk about something totally different but which is really important in our day-to-day life. We face it, but sometimes we fail to accept that. And what is it? This is criticism. Yes, exactly. Today I am going to talk about 6 ways to overcome the fear of criticism. It is really hard to take time out of our hurried lives to engage in activities from which we can learn, stretch, and grow. The best way to do so often involve taking risks, which can be scary. So another culprit kicks in: fear of criticism, and of course its henchman, the human brain. Actually, it turns out that the way our brain is wired plays a part in our predisposition to not only feel but dwell on a fear of criticism. Studies show that even happy people are 4 times more likely to remember negative criticism than praise, and that negative feedback is processed more thoroughly than positive feedback. Isn't it interesting? Of course it is. It's really interesting because in our day-to-day life we have to face a lot of criticism, and sometimes what happens when I or you or everybody else around us receives a criticism, becomes sad or depressed. But of course you should not be depressed after hearing a criticism. So I'm going to tell you how you are going to handle it. Anyways, the extent to which negative events impact us is so great that research from psychology professor Roy Baumeister shows it takes 5 positive events to make up for the psychological effect of just one negative event. Just imagine, just to submerge or just to suppress one negative event, there has to be a 5 positive events. So you can imagine how a negative event is impacting our life. So how a negative criticism does impact on our lives. So our wiring works against us, of course we understood, creating another natural enemy to our willingness to invest in experiences that will help us grow, besides time of course, but that no cause for despair. Here are 6 ways to overcome a fear of criticism. First of all, we have to remember one thing before I start, that our wiring works against us, creating another natural enemy to our willingness to invest in experiences that will help us grow. এখানে আমি জাস্ট একটু বাংলায় বলবো যে মানে আমাদের ভেতরের যে পুরো সিস্টেমটা রয়েছে সেটা অ্যাকচুয়ালি আমাদের বিপরীতে কাজ করে, মানে ন্যাচারাল এনিমি বলা যেতে পারে, স্বাভাবিক শত্রু, যেটা আমাদের ইচ্ছের বিরুদ্ধে কাজ করে আমরা যাতে ভালো এক্সপিরিয়েন্সে সময় ইনভেস্ট না করি, যেটা আমাদের হেল্প করতে সাহায্য করবে বা বাড়তে সাহায্য করবে, সেটা থেকে আমাদেরকে বিরত করার চেষ্টা করে। সো লেটস কাম টু দ্য ফার্স্ট পয়েন্ট. Know that anything worth doing attracts admiration and criticism, of course. Would you rather be judged or ignored? These are consequences of life's great binary choices. Whether to make a difference or not, faced with this decision, surely taking on some criticism seems acceptable. If you want to dent the universe, of course, who does not? Everybody wants to do something for this universe. But yeah, if you want to dent the universe, as Steve Jobs once challenged, you are going to take dents in your armor here and there. No one said it was fair. Because when you are going to change the world, of course, as I told you, the world, the people around us, of course, will try to stop us. In fact, one of life's great imbalances is the fact that what others risk by criticizing is minuscule compared to what you risk by putting yourself out there. But don't let that stop you. Don't ever let that stop you. So, the first point is know that anything worth doing attracts admiration and criticism, both. Okay. The second point is be clairvoyant about avoidance. When it comes to criticism, a strategy of avoidance is more damaging than you might realize. What happens when somebody criticizes us? We try to avoid that, but trust me, that is the more damaging that you think. Aristotle once said, there is only one way to avoid criticism. Do nothing, say nothing, and be nothing. You must realize that avoiding criticism is what makes you weaker. Of course. Because when we take criticism, we get depressed and we try to avoid criticism. So we don't go and don't create and don't do anything what exactly we are doing. So you must realize that avoiding criticism is what makes you weaker. Of course, not the criticism itself. That is a very important point. And that such avoidance means you are withholding your gifts from the world. Don't let your fear of criticism outweigh your desire for success. Yes, don't let your fear of criticism outweigh your desire of success. And shower your gifts to the world, because definitely you also want to create a dent in this world. Now the third point. Third point is seek improvement, not approval. This is a very vital point, so just concentrate and listen. When you adopt this philosophy, you are drawn to criticism as a cradle of insight instead of steering away from it as a source of rejection. Consider what is constructive about criticism. Find the nugget of truth in it and let it elevate you to the higher standards. Don't think of it as exposing flaws, but instead as helping you make new self-discoveries. Let criticism feed you, not your insecurities. So, the important thing is consider what is constructive about criticism. Because criticism, you can take criticism in two ways. One is you can get depressed, you can avoid, and the second is you can find it constructive. Find the nugget of truth in it and let it elevate you to the higher standards. Of course, every criticism has small tiny bit of truth. So try to collect those, build a complete sentence for you, and then let that sentence motivate and elevate you to the higher standards. Now I'm coming to the fourth point. Consider the intent of the criticism. Yes, every criticism has an intent. So consider the intent of the criticism. Criticism is either intended to help you or hurt you. Identifying if the former is true can be freeing. The latter isn't easy, but remember this: such criticism is often more about the other person than you. Yeah, of course. The person may be projecting his or her own fear or inadequacies. Unfortunately, some people have a nasty habit of tearing others down when they are not being built up themselves. Compartmentalize that kind of input for what it is. Yeah, when people criticize us, you need to understand the intent of the criticism. More often what happens is, suppose I am not able to do something and I saw someone else has done it. So what I'll do is I'll go there, I will just flow down my inadequacies which I could not do to that other person as a criticism. So you need to understand why the person is criticizing you, but of course you have to have a open mind for that. For the hybrid situation where it's meant to be helpful but is not, view the criticism as merely giving you information about the inclinations and perspective of the giver. Of course, this is a very important point. So I'm just telling you once again. For the hybrid situation where it's meant to be helpful but isn't, view the criticism as merely giving you information about the inclinations and perspective of the giver. Yeah. if you find it out, then it's going to be very clear, very easy for you collect those nuggets of truth. For the nastiest of it, live by saying ignore the booze. They usually come from the chipsets. Okay, now the fifth point. If you cannot control the sting, keep it from swelling. Okay, so this is a very well used proverb that when we use every time when we talk to some people, or in any conversation, that if you cannot control the sting, keep it from swelling. Even with the best of mindsets, that initial moment when we are receiving criticism can still sting, of course, because you have given your best. You think that you have given your best, you have built something, or you have done something, or you have created something, and somebody is criticizing you. That very first moment, before you start analyzing that criticism, it stings you. How you react from that instant forward can mean the difference between the sting persisting and swelling or quickly abating. The key is not to be over emotional or to overreact. Of course, that is these two things, over emotional and overreact, is a very bad thing. The vast majority of the time, the criticism is not meant to be a personal attack. It is not about you, it's about your work or your behavior. Most importantly, you control the pain from criticism when you remember the following. You cannot change the words that were spoken to you, but you can change the meaning you give to them. You can rise above any words, of course, because that thing is inside you. You are a human being. You are a better human being. So you can definitely rise above any words. So that is the fifth point. Now the sixth point. Sixth point is decide who gets to criticize you. Trust me, this is a very vital point, because you get to choose the people who can enter your life. So not all criticizers are created equal, and some shouldn't even have a seat at the table. Set criteria for those who make the cut and mentally dismiss the rest. Yeah, it's very simple. Mentors are particularly good choice for those on shortlist, because they can provide practice receiving criticism in a safe environment, making it a less frightening experience over time. So what is the important point in the sixth? Did you notice? I'm just telling you once again. Not all criticizers are created equal, and some shouldn't even have a seat at the table. So you need to choose who you are letting in your life to criticize you. Be it who you are, or you created something, or you built something, or whatever it is, there will always be some people who are going to criticize you. So better you choose that flock of people. I know the flock word we use for sheep, but you get to choose that flock of people, that bunch of people, that bundle of people who are going to criticize you. Because if it is not a constructive criticism, and if you let that cheap people enter your life and sit on the table and criticize you, of course that's going to sting you more. So get rid of those people who shouldn't have a seat at the table. So these are 6 points, and I'm going to just tell you the headlines once more. The first point is, know that anything worth doing attracts admiration and criticism. Second point is, be clairvoyant about avoidance. Third point, seek improvement, not approval. Fourth point is, consider the intent of the criticism. That is very important. And fifth point is, if you cannot control the sting, keep it from swelling. And the sixth and the most important point is, decide who gets to criticize you. So these are the 6 points which can help you to handle or to overcome the fear of criticism. Criticism is something which is a part of our life. Even when nobody is around, we criticize ourselves on some work we have done, or something we have said before, or whatever it is. So this is a part of life, and you have to accept it. I have to accept it. We have to accept it. but we have to make ourselves ready so that we can do well with the criticism and collect those nuggets of truth so that we can rise above and reach that standards we always wanted to achieve. So that's all for today. Signing off. And one more thing I want to tell you that, yeah, my pronunciation is not that really good. I have MTI and I'm working on it. So of course you get to criticize me. Tell me how can I improve. That's it. Take care, be good, do good, and try to overcome the fear of criticism. Rise above. Keep watching My Story, My Voice. Share this video, subscribe, and share your feedback, of course. Thank you so much.